Breaking. The political earthquake has struck the heart of New York City and the tremors are still spreading. The newly elected mayor of America's greatest city, Zohran Mamdani, has declared open war on the establishment, and his chief adversary? None other than former President Donald Trump. The fireworks started long before the ballots were even counted, but last night they exploded into full view. From the moment Mamdani stepped onto the stage to claim victory, he looked straight at Trump and said, "Turn the volume up." His words were not just for effect, they were a message, loud, unyielding, defiant. He vowed to fight for immigrants, to fight for tenants, to fight for a city that for too long has catered to the powerful and overlooked the many. He promised bold change, sweeping reform, and a challenge to the kind of politics that has empowered billionaires and erased working-class dreams. And when he said that the city that gave rise to Trump was now ready to show the nation how to defeat him, the air crackled with symbolism. But Trump didn't sit back and watch. He unleashed a volley of insults, threats and warnings. He labeled Mamdani a communist, said he would make one of the worst mayors in New York look like a genius by comparison, and threatened to withhold federal funds from the city if this left-wing radical took power. He lashed out at New York's Jewish voters, calling anyone supporting Mamdani stupid, a remark that sent shockwaves through the political spectrum. The stage is set, on one side a progressive newcomer with sweeping ambitions, on the other a master of power politics, unafraid to wield federal levers to impose his will. The real battleground now is not just City Hall, it is Washington. The federal purse, the funding flows, the regulatory levers, all hang in the balance. And they are all part of Trump's playbook. Analysts warn that while a president cannot single-handedly zero out line items in the city budget, selective grants and key programs could be targeted to send a message. Mamdani appears undeterred. He called Trump's threats not the law, just a threat, and underscored that a city built by immigrants and powered by immigrants will no longer tolerate being treated as second class. He pledged to end landlord abuse, overturn corruption, lift up workers, and hold the powerful accountable. There is enormous symbolism to this moment. A millennial, the first Muslim mayor in the city's history, rising against a former president who has long styled himself as the champion of New York's former ruling class. But symbolism aside, the real test is in the trenches. Over the next few months Mamdani will have to deliver on promises of affordable housing, bus fare reform, universal childcare, while simultaneously dodging or overcoming federal resistance, political sabotage, and perhaps even legal skirmishes. And Trump will not step aside quietly. He has inveighed against what he sees as a slide toward socialism, warned of New York turning into the next Venezuela, and announced that America has lost a little bit of its sovereignty now that the communist mayor is in charge of the city that spawned him. The rhythm of this rivalry is electric. Each side escalating. Each side offering competing visions. For New Yorkers, the calculus is more urgent. Will the city deliver on bold promises and renew hope for the working majority? Or will it become an example of a policy experiment that falters under federal pressure and political backlash? The stakes, massive. The timeline, immediate. The world is watching because whatever happens in New York may very well ripple across the country. In this moment, the question is not just who wins politically, but who governs effectively. Who shapes policy while navigating power. And who survives the heat of the spotlight when it shines on them the brightest. Will Mamdani stand firm, honor his pledges, and remake City Hall into a beacon of change? Or will Trump's federal muscle, his network, his narrative blunt the spark before it ignites? If New York happens, the whole nation takes note. If it stumbles, the story will be just as telling. This is not just a mayor's race. It is a generational clash. It is an ideological showdown. It is a test of power, in every sense of the word. Stay tuned.